flights are leaving that are not completely full, are half full? Is this a problem with people getting to the airport? Is this a consular issue? What's the holdup on that front?
So, Rich, our goal is to have every single seat filled on every single aircraft that takes off from the airport. Of course, we are most responsible for the U.S. military flights that are taking off, but there have also been commercial charters as well that have been part of these repatriation and relocation efforts. So, as you have heard, it was a couple days ago now that we issued notifications to the first tranche of American citizens that had indicated a desire to be repatriated. Just recently, as you heard from the Deputy Secretary, we have notified all Americans in Afghanistan who have expressed a desire to be repatriated that they should consider going to the Hamid Karzai International Airport. So we are sending very clear, very precise communications to an increasingly large universe of people. We are opening the aperture to see to it that there are people there present with the increasing lift capacity that the U.S. military has provided so that there is not, to the extent we can help it, a single unused seat on these aircrafts. We are shifting our tactics. We are reaching out to a broader aperture of the community of people who may be eligible or interested in relocation, and we expect the number of people who are repatriated or relocated to continue to climb in the coming days. That's certainly our hope.
Climb, do you have a number that how many consular officials are working on this issue now in Kabul?
So as you heard from the Deputy Secretary, by Friday we will have doubled. I think it is nearly doubled the number of consular officers who are working this on the ground in Kabul. Let me make one other point.
Can you be a little bit more explicit, because doubling from 2 to 4.
It is. I can be more explicit. It is not doubling from 2 to 4. It is a larger universe. But as you know, especially in these fluid fluid security environments, we don't give precise numbers. But I can tell you it is more than doubling from 2 to 4. But let me make another point that is relevant to this. Our embassy in Kabul went on ordered departure on April 27th. The security environment, even then, was fluid. We were taking prudent precautions, minimizing the size of our civilian footprint. With that ordered departure status, the primary functions of individuals at our embassy were really twofold. Number one was security. We were never going to have any fewer security officials than absolutely necessary. But number two was consular officers. So even as we went on ordered departure on April 27th, we actually sent additional consular officers to our embassy in Kabul precisely so that they could work on this challenge of the SIV processing. This is a challenge that had vexed numerous previous administrations. When we came into office, there were more than 70,000 individuals in this backlog. When we came into office, not a single SIV interview had been conducted since March of 2020. Now, of course, COVID had a say in that. It was a difficult operating environment, but within 2 weeks of this administration taking office, those interviews had resumed. We were able to expedite the processing time for SIV applications over that time. We took the number of visas granted from just over 100 to just over 800. 800 people in that, per month. So we were able to do that by surging resources to Kabul, but also surging resources back here because we knew our commitment to these individuals who have stood by us over the past 20 years, that we would need to do everything we could, even in the midst of the COVID outbreak that has been ongoing since March of last year, and the COVID outbreak that the Deputy Secretary mentioned, the COVID outbreak that was profoundly impactful on Embassy Kabul in June and July of this month. Of course, that also had a say in our operations. But we have prioritized this program from day one, and you see that not only in my statements about the priority we attach to that, you see it in the throughput, in the speed with which we have accelerated the processing over time, and you see that commitment now on your television screens almost every single day as we are doing something that no other administration had even conceived of. But let me just finish. An airlift operation to relocate these individuals. The SIV program is about granting special immigrant visas. When it was conceived in Iraq, it was about granting special immigrant visas. When it was conceived in Afghanistan, it was about the same thing. This administration has done something no other administration did by mounting an airlift operation to physically relocate these individuals to begin their new lives in the United States.
So our colleague,